Hello, my friends. We are working on Module 1, Topic B. So this topic is all about equivalent ratios. I gave you a little preview during the Topic A video, so we're going to get into more of equivalent ratios with this topic. Okay, so this topic has two priority standards. That's what we'll cover in this topic, is just these two standards. So that means that all of the lessons in this topic are going to be really important. We are going to cover 6RP3, which says I can solve real-world math problems using ratios and rates, hashtag tables, hashtags coordinate plane, hashtag equations. And then we're also going to cover part A of that, which is I can make tables of equivalent ratios to relate whole number quantities, hashtag times times, hashtag compare, hashtag equivalent fractions. Okay, so here's our video for the
Hi everyone,
equivalent
and thank you again
ratios.
for joining me
This is
on
not a
this lesson
mathematics one,
where we are
so
going
you
to
get a break
explore
from
the
mathematics
properties
for this
of
one,
equivalent
but you will see
ratios.
mathematics again.
Hi everyone, and thank you again for joining me on this lesson where we are going to explore the properties of equivalent ratios. So in this lunchtime scenario, we have Kevin and Christina who are both ordering lunch to bring back to their coworkers. Kevin orders 6 hamburgers and 2 tacos, while Christina orders 3 hamburgers and 1 taco. And we want to explore the ratio of hamburgers to tacos in this situation. So with this ratio in mind, let's regroup both Kevin and Christina's orders. Doing this allows us to see that for both Kevin and Christina, for every 3 hamburgers ordered, there is 1 taco. So even though Kevin ordered twice the amount of food that Christina did, the ratios are still equivalent because for every 3 hamburgers, there is 1 taco, in this case, a 3-to-1 ratio. So now let's move forward and explore the questions. What does it mean when 2 ratios are equivalent? How can I show that 2 ratios are equivalent? And where can I get one of those tacos? Kidding. So now let's get some practice in determining whether or not 2 ratios are equivalent. In this case, we have the ratio of 4 to 5 and the ratio of 12 to 15, and we want to see if they are equivalent ratios. Now, a ratio can be written in fraction form with a numerator and a denominator. So we're going to go ahead and start by transforming these 2 ratios into fractions. Doing this allows us to determine if the 2 ratios are equivalent because we know that 2 fractions are equivalent if their cross products are equal. So we're going to go ahead and find those cross products and see if they're equal, and if they are, then we can say that these are equivalent fractions. So let's start by cross multiplying, and we'll start out with 5 times 12, which we know equals 60. And then we'll find our second cross product by multiplying 4 and 15, and that product is also equal to 60. So notice that in this case, our cross products were equal. And that means that we can make the determination that these 2 ratios are equivalent. And we can justify that statement because, as we just showed, the cross products are equal.
Okay, friends, we won't use this cross product method very much. If it makes sense to you, great, fabulous, you can use that. We are just going to make sure that we can multiply both the numerator and denominator by the same number, or divide by the same number. Okay, same thing, it's a little simpler. But if that cross product thing works for you, great, use it. Okay, just letting you know that this is not one of the strategies that we will focus on.
Cool.
So now let's go ahead and take a look at one last example. In this case, we want to see if the ratio 4 to 7 and the ratio 6 to 12 are equivalent. Just like in the last example, we can start off by converting the ratios to fractions with a numerator and a denominator. Then we can go ahead and find the cross products and see whether or not they are equal. We could start with 4 times 12, whose product is 48, and then compare that to the second cross product, 7 times 6, whose product is 42. Notice
One of the reasons I don't like using this cross product is because that is a lot of multiplication. You should be able to see this, and you can already tell that you can't multiply 4 by anything to get to 6. Same with 7. You can't multiply 7 by anything to get to 12, unless we're working with decimals and all of that. And if you really wanted to, you could do that. You could do 6 divided by 4 and 12 divided by 7 and see if you get the same decimal. You won't, okay? But just know that there is a simpler way, especially for this. We can see that there is no way to get from 4 to 6 with multiplication. Remember, when we are doing equivalent ratios, equivalent fractions, we are only working with multiplication or division. Sure, we could add, but that's not going to help us.
here that in this example, the cross products of 48 and 42 are not equal. Therefore, we can conclude that these two ratios are not equivalent. So now that we have explored both the concept and the procedures involved with exploring equivalent ratios, you can now extend this understanding to future problems. Thanks again for stopping by, everyone, and I will see you soon.
Cool.
Okay, so vocabularies and models. It's only one new vocabulary term for this topic, which is additive comparison. That is a description of relationships between two quantities or amounts by asking or telling how much, how many more or less one is compared to the other. For example, 3 more apples than oranges. So that is more addition than multiplication, like we did with topic A. And then the models that we are going to see in this topic would be coordinate planes. You should have hit coordinate planes about the last month of 5th grade. Is when we hit coordinate planes. We are going to use a lot of ratio tables to help us with equivalent ratios. So this ratio table is an example of what you'll see. It's a multiplicative structure of the ratio table. And then we're going to work with a lot of double number line diagrams. We're going to see some equations. And then here's just another version of the ratio table, a little bit more simplified. Same thing between these two. This one is just showing what you multiply right here. This one doesn't have what you multiply, but that's because this one doesn't really have, you can't multiply anything with 2 to get to 3, okay? But there is still equivalency between these. Okay, friends, so here's our sample problem for topic B. It kind of includes a little bit of everything on here that we will see, except for like the double number line graph. So this one says, on a news broadcast, a chef from a local Italian restaurant demonstrated how he makes fresh pasta daily for his restaurant. The recipe for his pasta is below. He needs 3 eggs beaten, 1 tablespoon salt, 2 cups all-purpose flour, 2 tablespoons water, 2 tablespoons of vegetable oil. Determine the ratio of the number of tablespoons of water to the number of eggs. Okay, so this is saying we're looking for tablespoons of water to the number of eggs. So that would be our water is right here and our eggs are right here. So I'm going to write it right here. Our ratio tablespoons of water would be 2 and number of eggs would be 3. So our ratio is 2 to 3. For every 2 tablespoons of water, we will have 3 eggs beaten. Okay, that's the ratio for that piece of the problem. And it says, provided the information in the table below, complete the table to determine ordered pairs. Use the ordered pairs to graph the relationship of the number of tablespoons of water to number of eggs. So we need to create a table. Okay. And just how they have it listed, that is how we are going to create our table. So we have tablespoons of water over number of eggs. So for 2 tablespoons of water, we have 3 eggs. If we want to make this an equivalent table, do I want to pick 3 as my next number? No, I don't want to pick 3 as my next number because I can't get from 2 to 3 and be equal. So I am going to pick 4 as my next number because I am multiplying this by 2. So if I multiply by 2 by 2, that means I need to multiply by 3 by 2, which means that if there's 4 tablespoons, I cannot speak right now. If there are 4 tablespoons of water, there would be 6 eggs. Okay, and then I'm going to do that again. So I'm going to multiply my 2 by 3, which is 6, and I multiply my 3 by 3, which is 9. So if there's 6 tablespoons of water, there's going to be 9 eggs. Okay, if there are 8 tablespoons of water, there's going to be 12 eggs, and so forth and so forth. Because I am multiplying by that same number, my original number, right? That's our original ratio. If I'm multiplying by the same number, these will be equivalent. Okay, so my 2 to 3 is equivalent to my 4 to 6, which is equivalent to my 6 to 9, which is equivalent to my 8 to 12. Now they want us to use this to create ordered pairs. So when we're creating ordered pairs and we have a table, this is our x-axis, this is our y. So my ordered pair would be 2, 3. Remember, ordered pairs, we always write with parentheses and separated by a comma. This would be our x value, this would be our y value. That's how we always write ordered pairs. So then we have 4, 6, 6, 9, and 8, 12. And then we need to graph those in a coordinate plane. Let me bring in a coordinate plane for you. Okay, so here is our coordinate plane. And we are going to graph these points on that coordinate plane. This has been nicely done for us. It tells us that this is the x-axis. Right here, this is the y-axis. So we're going to graph our 2, 3 first. So we're going to go over. We're going to use our x-axis first. 2. I'm going to show you with my point, right? So we're going to go over first. So here's 2. And then we're going to go up to 3. So my first point is going to be right there. So there's my 2, 3. Okay. Then I have 4, 6. So again, over and up. 4, 6. Then 6, 9, over and up. And then 8, 12, over and up. Now, this isn't part of this lesson yet. So I'm going to give you a preview for some future lessons, okay? But I want you to pay attention to this. And I'm going to change my colors here. If you notice, all of these dots are in a line. They're on a line. And they all cross our origin point at 0. Okay, that is a very, very good indication that these points are all equivalent because they're all in a line and because they cross our origin at 0. Okay, if they give you a graph, if you are ever given a graph like this and are just asked to, hey, can you tell us if these points are equivalent? That's a quick and easy way, just by glancing without having to do any calculations, that you will be able to tell if they are equivalent. All the points are in a line and they all cross at our origin. Okay, friends, that is it for our topic B video. As with our other video for topic A, remember that if you ever need a refresher, you are kind of stuck on something, come back and watch this, okay? You don't have to watch the whole thing. You can fast forward, use it however you need to do to make yourself better and improve. All right, I'll see you for topic C.